Hello YouTube, this is Corbin22 here, back with another 100-point Squadron build for Star Wars X-Wing miniatures. Tonight I'm doing another mixture of the Resistance and the Rebel Alliance. I have a T-70 X-Wing fighter, piloted by a Blue Ace, and we have three RZ-1 A-Wing interceptors, piloted by Green Squadron pilots. The focus behind this build is, well, the build is called Daredevils, and for a reason, because Blue Ace's ability allows him to use the sharp turn maneuvers instead of the bank maneuvers in order to use a boost. And Green Squadron pilots and A-Wings, the A-Wings have the Daredevil elite pilot skill, which allows them to do pretty much the same thing. The only difference being is that they would get a stress, and if they didn't have the boost action, they would have to roll for damage too. So yeah, all these guys pretty much have now the same ability, whereas they can use a boost going straight ahead, bank, or a sharp curve. Yeah, the difference being is that the A-Wings have it as an elite pilot skill, and the T-70 has it as an innate ability. So that being said, let's look at the build. Pretty, kind of a large build. Well, it's not really a large build. It's, unfortunately, I couldn't, I didn't have enough cards in order to make this properly work. Like, I only had, like, 2 A-Wing test pilots because it came with the Rebel Aces pack. And unfortunately, in order to make this build to work properly, I would probably have to give these guys auto thrusters, which again I don't have. I would need to get myself 4-star Viper squadrons, 4-star Vipers in order to make this work. So until I do that, this is kind of what I've gotten going so far. This is kind of like a prototype build, so to speak. You can use it if you want. It probably has its own uses, but until I get the auto thrusters, from the Star Vipers, chances are I probably wouldn't use this build in the long run. So let's get started. We'll look at the squadron leader of the build. The squadron leader is Blue Ace. He has a pilot skill of 5. He flies the Incom T-70 X-Wing fighter. He has an attack value of 3, an agility value of 2, hull value of 3, and a shield value of 3. He can take on the focus, log on, and boost actions. He costs 27 squadron points. He's able to take on a warhead upgrade, an astromech upgrade, and a tech upgrade. His ability states, when performing a boost action, you may use the sharp 1 left or sharp 1 right template. So again, this guy's a natural Daredevil. He's able to make sharp turns when he boosts without having to worry about taking a stress or having to roll for damage, because it's part of his innate ability. In order to help with his agility value, I've given him a stealth device, which came with the fire spray, 31 craft. And it states, increase your agility value by 1. If you are hit by an attack, discard this card. So the stealth device is kind of like a one-shot thing. Until you get hit by an attack, your agility value goes up to 3, which actually works because the Blue Ace only has until agility value of 2. So with the stealth device, as long as he doesn't get hit, his stats will remain even all around. He'll have 3 attack, 3 agility, 3 hull, and 3 shield. So he'll have the same stats as a TIE Defender, which is good, but again, once he takes the first hit, be it shield or hull, you have to discard this face down or put it away, and his agility value goes back down to 2. So, better with the X-Wing, you better use your agility in order to you better make use of your boost ability in order to escape danger. Oh, me. For his astromech, I've chosen R5X3. It's a very useful astromech for only a pilot skill of 1, or for a cost of 1. It states, before you reveal your maneuver, you may discard this card to ignore obstacles until the end of the round. So R5X3, for 1 turn, you behave a little bit like Dash Rendar, only better. Dash Rendar's ability allows him to ignore obstacles during the activation phase. If he were to land on an asteroid, though, he would not be able to attack. R5X3, by flipping this card face down, you completely ignore that rule entirely. You can land on an asteroid, or you could pass through it. If you land on an asteroid, you will still be able to attack because R5X3 states that you ignore obstacles until the end of the round. So that means you can land on an asteroid and you can still attack. For that 1 turn, R5X3 ignores the obstacles rule, which is pretty handy, all things considering. I tried this once out on my roommate, and I took advantage of his decimator when I used this plus I think I did this plus 2 B-Wing fighters, and I completely destroyed his decimator with this. And for his tech upgrade, I gone with the only thing I could put on him, which was a weapons guidance system, which states, when attacking, you may spend a focus to exchange one of your blank results to a hit result. So weapons guidance, it kind of gives you a choice with the focus token you take. If you roll all focus results, you can take your focus and turn it into all hits, or if you get like say one blank, you can spend your focus to change that blank into a hit. So it kind of gives you more flexibility when using the focus token. Now I move on to the 3 wingmates. They all pretty much have the same thing. The only difference being is that 2 of them have an A-Wing test pilot, so that the A-Wing test pilot tile card. So that means I was able to give them each 2 different elite pilot skills. So we'll start with the one that doesn't have a tile card. And that is just a standard green Squadron pilot. He has a pilot skill of 3. He flies the RZ-1 A-Wing Interceptor. He has an attack value of 2, an agility value of 3, hull value of 2, and a shield value of 2. You take on the Focus, Lock-On, Boost, and Evade actions. He costs 19 Squadron points. He's able to take on an Elite Pilot skill upgrade and a Missile upgrade. He's a comm pilot, so he doesn't have any special abilities to go for him. But like I stated before, he's A-Wing. The Green Squadron pilot is one of the few common pilots that can take Elite Pilot skills. Others being the Saber Squadron pilots, the Black Squadron pilots, a couple of the I think the Epsilon. Or is it Epsilon, or was the Omega? Yeah, the Omega Squadron pilots as well from the First Order. And I believe there's one more group I could take. Oh, the Royal Guard Ties. The Royal Guard Ties can also take elite pilot skills. Okay, so for this one here, I've gone with Daredevil, which is you must use this during your action phase in order to use it. It says execute a white hard 1 or right 1 maneuver and then receive 1 stress token. Then, if you do not have the boost action icon, roll 2 attack dice. Suffer any hit and critical damage. Suffer any damage and critical damage roll. So, with Daredevil, you can put this on any ship. But, if you were to put this on a ship that does not have a boost ability or a boost action, then you run the risk of damaging your ship by doing this. This card is best put on interceptors like the A-Wing and the TIE Interceptor, because as well as the T-70s as well, because they all have the boost action, so the war still suffers a stress. But with the Blue Ace, like I said, he has that innate ability already. So this Daredevil is basically like an amplified boost action. In order to help the A-Wings be more cost efficient, I've given each of them a Chardaan refit, which has a negative Squadron point cost of 2. So that brings down the Green Squadron pilots to 17 points. Now, for the other 2 Green Squadron pilots, I've given them an A-Wing test pilot, which has a cost of 0. It states your upgrade bar gains one elite pilot skill upgrade icon. You cannot equip 2 of the same elite pilot skill upgrade cards, and you cannot equip this card if your pilot skill value is 1 or lower. So that means every A-Wing but the prototype pilots can take this card. And of course, for these 2 guys, to help them inflict better damage, I've gone with Outmaneuver, which states when attacking a ship inside your firing arc, if you are not inside that enemy ship's firing arc, reduce their agility value by 1 to a minimum of 0. So like that, just like that, the Green Squadron pilots become bomber killers because of Outmaneuver. If you're attacking from, like, say, their left flank or right flank or behind or whatever, then their agility value goes down by 1. Little note: even if the enemy has an auxiliary firing arc or an omnidirectional firing arc because of the primary one's a turret, Outmaneuver applies to their frontal firing arc. So that means, if I say I were to get behind a Fire Spray 31, which has an auxiliary firing arc that fires behind them, Outmaneuver would still take effect because it's not their frontal firing arc. I'm still attacking them from behind. So therefore their agility value would go down. But yeah, so I'm going to call this my Daredevils build because of the obvious. Its strengths: all the ships here are able to take better advantage of their maneuverability. The T-70 and the Green Squadron pilots with Daredevil are able to use an amplified boost, which allows them to make a sharp turn, help them get behind help them get into a better firing position. And of course, you have the T-70 with R5X3 to help him ignore obstacles for the 1 turn. Stealth device also increases agility as long as he remains untouched. So he'll have the same agility value as the A-Wings when he's defending. Also, weapons guidance gives you more flexibility with the focus. And for the Green Squadron pilots, at least 2 of them, they have Outmaneuver, which will help reduce the enemy's agility value when they're attacking. And of course, Daredevil to help them take those more enhanced boosts, but at the cost of getting a stress. Which doesn't matter so much because the A-Wings have lots and lots of green maneuvers. Like, they're loaded with them. Like, they have, I think all of their speed 2s, their straight ahead speed 3s, 4s, and 5s are all great maneuvers. So you can do a K-turn 5 or whatever, get stressed, or rather do Daredevil, get stressed, then do like, say, if the enemy has to zoom ahead, do a speed ahead 4 or 5, if you would still be able to keep up with them and remove the stress at the same time, allowing you to make more actions with Daredevil and whatnot. Excuse me. The weaknesses of this build, major weaknesses lie with the A-Wings. They're fast shits, but they're incredibly fragile. They don't have that much in terms of attack value. The blue Ace has a better chance of surviving. That being said, even with the stealth device, which raises agility value, if you would take one hit, then your agility value goes back down to its normal. R5X3 is only, while it's a powerful astromech to put on your ship, it's a one-shot only, so you have to make sure you use it in the appropriate situation. Otherwise, you end up just wasting it, and you could potentially put yourself in a fatal position. Same with the A-Wings. Use Daredevil if you have to. Like, same with the T-70s. Use Blue Ace's ability and the Daredevil actions with Green Squadron at your discretion. You don't want to put them in a situation that could potentially prove fatal to them. Otherwise, you'll just get wrecked. Anyway, that's all about I can think of for advantages and disadvantages. But yeah, well, the build will be more effective with the auto thrusters card, which I do plan to get next Saturday. Next Saturday is another X-Wing tournament coming up. I'll see if I can pull some money to getting 4 Star Vipers, and not only add them to my Scum and Villainy squadrons, but also be able to add the auto thrusters to all of my ships that can that have the boost icons, namely the T-70s and the A-Wings, as well as the TIE Interceptors. But anyway, yeah, this is my Daredevils build. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Any constructive criticism is greatly appreciated. If you like, you may use this build for any competitive or casual play, or if you want, you can tweak it or revamp it to your own specifications. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Corbin22, signing off.